So here's another project I'm working on. This is going to be for that 1920s radio that I have upstairs. Um, Instead of having a regular speaker, I thought it would be cool to have more traditional 20s horn speaker. So I 3D printed the horn, glued the pieces together, but now I have all these ugly seam lines. So I've been sanding that 120 grit paper. Next, I'm going to use this filler primer and sand that down. Then whatever is left, I'll use the Bondo spot putty to fill in, and then wet sand everything, and then probably another coat of primer. On another note, this primer I was getting at Harbor Freight. It is the best primer I've ever used, but they stopped selling it. So when they stopped selling it, I went out and bought as many cans as I could, but I think I have like 2 or 3 cans left, and it's going to be sad when it's gone. But that's another story. But this stuff just sands so easy and doesn't clog the sandpaper like other sander fillers do, but it's what I got. So anyway, I'll be priming this and then sanding. All right, so this is the first coat of primer. Now I see where the seams are. So once this is dried, I'm going to put that spot putty in there, fill in the seams, do a wet sand, let that dry, do another coat of primer till we can get this thing smooth. So I put the first coat of primer on the horn, and now all the little seams are really prominent. So I'm going to put some of this spot putty on that, let that dry. And do a wet sand of the whole thing. Spot putty works pretty well. I have used it or binned it with acetone and brushed it on occasion to hide layer lines and that kind of thing. Use it more of a paint or a thick paint. To sand this, actually may have to put another coat on. Really don't want to see any of the seams. Okay. Have a little bit this seam here, this This was the seam from the printing. There's always seams. Okay. All right. I think that's all we can do right now. This should dry in about half an hour. And when it's all dry, I'm going to do a wet sanding. I like doing wet sanding than dry. For one thing, it doesn't clog the sandpaper, but I find it gives me a much better surface when I'm wet sanding. Here's the first coat of primer and spot putty sanded down. Sanded down to 400 grit, so it feels pretty smooth. I don't feel any lines in there, but then I wet sanded it. I didn't film that part, sorry. But once this dries, then I will spray another coat of primer, and we'll see if we have any more layer lines or joint lines, and sand it again, and we'll go from there. Hopefully it'll just take one more. Sorry for the police sirens, not sure what's happening there. So I just wanted to show you the base that I had made, 3D printed for the horn. There'll be a bottom here. Speaker will be inside, which will direct the sound out the horn just like they were. Thought it came out pretty nice. So today's job is to put another coat of primer on the horn itself and make sure there's no seam line, or I don't feel any seams. And also start working on this. I'll put some primer on here, let it dry, do a little sanding, and probably another coat, get rid of these layer lines, and let you know what all that looks like. But for now, just like yesterday, paint some primer on there. All right, so we're back to sanding, or final sanding, hopefully. I had to put some more spot putty here. There was one of the layer lines, not layer lines, the seam lines, was still showing through there. So I'll sand that with this 240, and then I'll go over the rest of everything with 400 and then 600, and also the base. So I like to get everything wet first. Once all this is dry, probably tomorrow I'll put the final painting on the horn and the base. It seems like most of these horns were black, made with some type of rubber. I'm not sure what, but a hard rubber or paper mache. Some were made out of brass, but most rubber, again from what I could find out. So I'm going to paint the horn black. This ring here, I'm going to paint gold. Might use rub and buff. That'll be gold. The base I'm going to paint with a bronze hammered spray paint I have. It seems like the bases were a different color. Some were black. I just don't want everything to be black. I want some contrast here. All right, that's okay. The outside feels really good. Go back to the 400, do this inside. All right, I think I'm done with the horn. Need to sand this base. a quick pass 600 grit and do a final wash outside with the hose, and then let it dry, and we'll be painting this tomorrow. Right, very smooth. Like I said, this part I'm going to use a bronze hammered finish that I have. So if there are any layer lines left, the texture and that hammered finish will hide that. Oh, and this is the base. It'll go together. A couple little screw holes in there. The speaker will be mounted to that. All right, done sanding. On to painting, but tomorrow when it's all dry. So day 3, I've decided to paint the horn gloss black, but the bell part here, I'm going to do a wood effect, make it look like wood grain on the outside and the inside of just the bell. This will be gloss black. That and this hammered copper for the base, as well as, this ring I'm going to make silver. Make that silver, and I'm thinking this little part here silver. So that's it for today. I need to start painting now. Okay, so we are down to the wire now. The speaker is completed on the outside. I painted that other little ring there. Also hot glued the speaker itself to the base. That will go inside here once it's wired. So that's where we are now. This is going to be the wire that goes from the speaker to the radio eventually, and that's the radio back there. That will be another video. That video I made last year and put a Bluetooth speaker in it, or Bluetooth set. But I really would rather not tether my phone to it. I'd rather have it just turn on and play like an actual radio. So with that, I have this is the electronics that will be going in it. This is a MP3 player board, a amplifier. It's a op-amp amplifier, maybe 5 watts or something like that. It says 10 watts, doubt it. And it'll be powered by the battery. So anyway, that'll be another video when I swap that out in the radio. This will be the speaker that will be connected to it. But I will connect this today and just to test it out, see what it sounds like. So, that aside, and let's start this. Sometimes trying to strip this cloth covered wire is a chore. Okay, that is that part. I'm gonna hot glue that down. But first, I made that come apart just in case I travel with it. Don't need the horn on the top. Well, that's backwards. So that will go in. That's right. Strip this. I like to put a little resin on the wires. It lets them accept solder much easier. get this. So I already wired the amplifier to the battery and also jumpered power to the MP3 player. And now I need to screw in the wire terminals. Didn't think I had my screwdriver up here, but there it is. Built this speaker, the horn speaker, and sure do hope it sounds good. Okay, that should be that. So as soon as we put power to it, it should start playing. And we have music coming out of the speaker. Okay. Just put that there. You can see a little troubleshooting here, and I'm not able to adjust the volume. Interesting. Okay. All right, sounds pretty good. All right, let's get you out of there. Okay, so after some some off-camera troubleshooting. I realized I had the speaker screwed in the wrong place. So this MP3 player is a standalone amplifier, player, and has its own little volume buttons, but that's not what I needed. That's why I added this op amp amplifier with the volume control. And what I had done was connected the speaker to the speaker output of an MP3 player, and it was playing like it was supposed to, but I had no volume control. So I had to change the speaker. Let's see, the speaker connections to the amplifier, and now, as you can see, I have volume control. And so, kids, don't do what I do. But it does work well. So that should be it for this video. Like I said, we'll make the other video with the radio and change out the Bluetooth and swap out this MP3 player. On the MP3 player, all the songs reside on an SD card, a little micro SD card. So that will, I don't know, hold hundreds, thousands of songs. I'm not sure, but probably more songs than you would be able to listen to in in a while, and maybe a few days if you had it on all the time. And probably never hear the same song again. On this SD card, I have this one song, so it's just going to keep looping. If we had, 100 songs, 200 songs, it would just play all the songs and then loop over again if we let it. But this song is public domain, so YouTube won't give me issues for playing it. So that's why I chose that one song. Sweet Georgia Brown. Alright, that's it for this video. We'll hit it again with the radio project and have that one up. Thanks a lot.